Hello, beautiful people. It's Elyce Monet again. And I was reminded of something this morning that was a very strong turning point in my life. So I wanted to share it. And we've been talking about being a victim. And in my last video, I talked about the karmic triangle, which psychologists call the Karpman triangle, drama triangle. That's the official title. Karmic triangle. The karma, because it's all about karma, and karma is where we create drama and all of that stuff. So um, I'm going to call this uh, uh, video my bathtub revelations inside the karmic triangle. Okay. Um, because it starts off with me sitting in a bubble bath. And it's one of my favorite things to do is sit in a bubble bath and luxuriate and relax after a hard day. And that's usually a time where I can meditate and talk to God quietly. And so there was this one time that I remember I was really distressed. I mean, really distressed. I had been betrayed by a business partner. And I was beside myself. I never, ever thought in a million years that I would have a problem like that, a big betrayal. And I had that day um, tried to work it out. It wouldn't work out. I had taken action with the client I needed to take action with. But I was not at peace yet. I hadn't given it up, and I couldn't figure out how the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call that, okay, how could this happen when I had been so straight up and loving, and we had an agreement, right? So I'm in this bubble bath and I'm whining away. I'm whining to God. God is not fair. I didn't deserve this. And many times we don't deserve, especially in betrayal. Nobody really deserves to be betrayed. Okay. And was it correct what he was doing? Absolutely not. It was dead wrong. But I just couldn't let go. I was really struggling. And so in my bathtub, I said, okay, God, I got to look at this. I'm going to look at the karmic triangle. So I looked at victim and I said, okay, right now I'm playing the victim because I've been betrayed and I have been victimized, and I own that I'm feeling like I'm the victim. Okay, so God, yes, I'm the victim. Help me, show me a better way. Show me how not to feel this victim, feeling. And so I kind of got through that and I got some peace. And then I went to, all right, how am I playing the rescuer? Well, I didn't play the rescuer with this partner. I actually confronted him in love and said, this isn't right. This wasn't our agreement. This is totally blindsiding me. And this wasn't what we agreed would happen. And so I'm going to take matters into my own hands, which I did. I called the person that could. It could have blown up everything. It was one of our accounts. Um, and so I'm sitting in this bathtub going, okay, how am I playing the rescuer? Okay, well, I'm playing the rescuer because I'm trying to rescue myself emotionally from this devastation. So I see that. I didn't try and be nicey and say, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay that you betrayed me, right? So I spoke up. I defended myself. I said, no, this isn't right. And I didn't go fly off the handle and rage and all that kind of stuff. I did it with grace. So I went, okay, check. You check the victim box. You check the rescuer box. I'm there. I'm rescuing myself. Okay, but the perpetrator, I'm not the perpetrator, God. I'm the one that is being perpetrated against. He's the perpetrator. And spirit, God, creator, source, whatever you want to call it, said, okay, you need to do some work around that, right? So I went, you're right. How can I accept responsibility for my peace and not make him the perpetrator? So I did some work around that and said, well, you weren't clear in your boundary. You didn't get anything in writing. That's on you. So, okay, I worked through some emotional drama over that. And I said, okay, I'll take responsibility for that. And so I prayed long and hard and meditated and said, okay, why don't I feel peace? And I realized I'm still stuck in perpetrator. I can't let go. And I said, God, this isn't fair. It's not fair. Why are you allowing this? Why are you allowing me to be victimized? And I'm not playing the perpetrator. But I realized in that moment, within myself, I got oh, really? I said, I'm not making him the perpetrator. I'm over that. I forgive, I blah, blah, blah. And then I said, okay, I'm not making anybody the perpetrator here, so why don't I feel better? And I got, oh, really? You're not making anybody the perpetrator? And I thought long and hard, and I went, well, no, I'm not being the perpetrator. I'm just taking logical action, and I'm not making him the perpetrator. I've forgiven him. Okay. I accept my peace. Um, doesn't make it, we're not talking right and wrong here. We're talking about emotionally acceptance and being okay with yourself. Okay. And so then I went, well, what am I missing? And I hear this voice loud and clear say to me, I'm not in your karmic triangle. I'm over here. Meet me there. And in that moment, I realized I was making God the perpetrator. Wow. Here I am blaming God that this happened in my life. Now, mind you, this was a partnership that I had created. This was an account that I had created. This was a relationship agreement that I had created. And I'm making God out like he caused the problem. She, God caused the problem. So I had to sit back and go, whoa, wait a minute. What's wrong with this picture? If God's, I was still stuck inside the karmic triangle. And I had to get outside the drama and the trauma, the emotional karmic triangle, get outside of it and realize that if I wanted things to change, I had to let go of blame completely. I can't blame the universe. I can't blame God. I can't blame other people. I have to own it 100%. And I went, okay, then I surrender. I surrender. I realize, God, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I made you the perpetrator. Because I know, and you've told me, you do nothing that isn't for my own good. Well, this is a huge lesson. So, have you ever done that? Have you ever blamed God for something that went wrong in your life? I think if you look back, you can trace back where you're stuck in the karmic triangle, like me. God's not in there. You're trying to solve a problem inside the karmic triangle. God is outside the karmic triangle. Okay, so think about that. Think about that the next time you feel betrayed or victimized or, someone hurts your feelings. Think about you are the one that's creating this, and you have to get outside to discreate it. Okay. So thank you for listening. I hope that I hope my bubble bath shared some wisdom for you. That was a huge shift in my life when I stopped blaming God and the universe and realized God and the universe is always there for my highest good and loves me and would never do anything to purposely hurt me. Okay. Help me grow, yes, but not hurt me or betray me. So enjoy this week. Think about that. Where are you blaming God? Where are you in your bubble? Go take a bubble bath and see if God speaks to you, and like He did to me, and enjoy finding peace again. Oh, and by the way, after I learned that lesson and I owned it, everything resolved. Okay, so sometimes the lessons are huge. Sometimes we get to go through this awful, awful scenario to learn a big lesson about ourselves. And my lesson was you can't blame God. You have to allow um, everything that happens in your life. And I came to the place where I said, it wasn't mine to begin with. The money, the accounts, all of that. None of that was mine. It was all God's. So I had to give it up. And when I gave it up, it all came back. So I hope that works for you too. Namaste.